And my foundation is complete. Finally. I said maybe I'll take a time lapse of me finishing off the foundation, or me and Duncan, and amazingly, I did. Here it is. I have never really classified myself this way, but if I really have to stop and think about it, I would say definitely, yes, I am a maker. I love to make things. I love to make things in all kinds of different ways. I love working on this with my sons. I am so happy that they want to be doing this with me. They want to be a part of this. That thrills me. But there's also the part of me that wants to do everything myself. When I make something, I want to make it. And I have a really hard time sharing that. But I am so happy I'm sharing it with them. So I'm ignoring the part that wants to do everything myself and joyfully welcoming my sons in on this. The first day was on the first video where we concreted all the blocks together. Here on the second day, we were concreting in most of the support pegs that we had driven down, anchor posts that we had driven down into the ground. We had concreted one the first day just because we had some extra concrete left over. The second day, where I got really badly sunburned, we concreted in all the other anchor posts and then started filling in holes that were left over. Kai and Duncan helped me on that second day. On the third day, it was just me and Duncan. So we spent about an hour and a half or so mixing up the concrete, sifting sand to mixing with the concrete, and filling in lots of holes and smoothing it out. And it's a slow, long process, but we enjoyed it, Put in some concrete, tamp it down, put in more concrete, smooth it out, move to the next hole. The last day, which was today, I spent a couple hours and finished off by myself. Finished using up all of the original bag of concrete, which was a little bit hardened, more than a little bit. Most of it, the inside was still completely powdery, but it was a little chunky and I had to break up the chunks to use it. And I read you're really not supposed to use the concrete if it's gotten chunky, but I figured enough if it was powdery, it was good enough, it would work for our purposes. But we actually used up the whole first bag and I had to buy a second bag, and it was so much nicer using fresh concrete. Didn't have to break it up. It mixed so much easier. I didn't have to spend 5 minutes smacking it with a trowel. At the end, when I got all the holes finished, I still had a little bit of concrete left over, so I figured out a way to block off the end with a piece of cardboard and an extra cinder block and force some concrete in there, then take it off and smooth it out to make a smooth face instead of having little indentations on the ends of the rows of the cinder blocks on both sides. It worked out just about right. But now I've got like 90% of a bag of concrete I gotta do something with before it starts hardening up. Finally, this is done. This is taking me a lot longer than I thought it would. But once this dries, we can finally get to building the wooden structure on top, securing it down, building it up, getting it all done, and getting the ducks over there and the chickens there in here. It is a bit smaller than what the chickens currently have. It's a lot bigger than what the ducks currently have, but it should be okay. It's just gonna be 6 of them, and if it does prove to be too small, I can add an addition onto here anytime. Now my foundation won't be able to do that for very long. So anytime you saw me disappear, off the screen during the time lapse, I was off sifting sand, getting the rocks and weeds, roots out of the sand for the concrete, like I showed in the first video, the non-time lapsed video. There's a little time lapse. Okay, whatever. So, you know what? This is actually pretty hot. My butt is heating up. Better talk fast. Ow. The construction continues from here. Stay tuned. I hope you enjoy.